soil mixes, flame weeding, and alpaca shearing on The Daily Dude.
I haven't had a soda in over 5 years, and I know there's somebody right now watching this, sucking on a soda. Stop it. It's not good for you.
That's our random fact from AZ Farms in Arizona, where we also get our next 2 videos. Links are below.
Alright, now I'm going to show you how I get my raised garden beds ready for a new planting season. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the mulch.
This video, Best Soil for Raised Garden Bed, was suggested by Whimsical WonderFarm.
The top half is going to have a soil mixture made up of the compost we just looked at, plus the worm castings, which is perfect plant food. Coconut coir, we'll be coming back to that, and azomite rock dust.
That looks like a good mix if you need to fill a raised bed and have some money to throw at it. If you don't have the time to do your own compost and to do your own worm castings and everything that goes into this recipe, it will cost you a little bit. The worm castings that he's putting on now is a very essential part, as it will jumpstart the bacteria and the fungus that will help transfer those nutrients to the roots of whatever it is you're growing in that raised bed. Have a look at this video and also have a look at our next video. In this video, he shows us the results from flame weeding. That's right, torching your plants can be good for them.
Now this side of the field was flame weeded before irrigation came in. And you can see there ain't very many weeds, hardly any. Now on this side, look at all this craziness.
Plenty of gardeners and farmers have wished they could take a flamethrower to their weeds, and it turns out you actually can, and it works pretty well. He explains how he went about it and the results in this video. And these were suggested by Whimsical WonderFarm, and let's take a look at 2 of her videos also. In the first video, the morning milking, we get an introduction to the farm.
And here we have, that's Shaggy, our sheep, and there's Maggie, and that is Goldie, our alpaca, and here is Candy, the alpaca.
Goldie just looks like the coolest alpaca ever. Not that I've seen a lot of alpacas. And the rest of this video, we also take a look into her morning milking routine with the goats. And our last video also comes from Whimsical WonderFarm. When you've got alpacas, sometimes you gotta shear them. And she takes them for shearing at Suki Farms.
So we just got back from the shearing experience, and it was awesome. Frank with, I forget the name, Premium Harvest Shearing. He and his crew, they did a fabulous job.
This video is full of great clips of the alpacas and the shearing process, and full of information also. You'll want to go have a look.
Thank you to Lori from Whimsical WonderFarm for suggesting the video from AZ Farms. I hope you'll give both of their channels a try. You'll find a link to their channels and to their videos below. And today we are up to random fact number 8 about Peoria Dude. Yesterday I played all kinds of sports when I was a kid. And so random fact number 8 is, so what's my favorite baseball team? Is it the Dodgers? Nope. Is it the Yankees? Nope.
Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over. And the Cubs have finally won it all.
The Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm a Cubs fan. Everybody already knew that. That's not a random fact. But how did I become a Cubs fan? Playing baseball, that was my favorite sport. I don't follow sports closely anymore, except for the Cubs. I used to be a big football fan and never got into soccer at all. Never got into hockey. College basketball, March Madness, I used to really enjoy that when, Illinois had teams that were any good somewhere in the state. They're all bad now. But Peoria has a minor league team. They still do. And it was like early 80s that they became an affiliate of the Chicago Cubs. So in my formative years as like a 8th grade freshman, we had players like Joe Girardi playing for the Peoria Chiefs, and he's the manager of the New York Yankees now. He actually grew up in East Peoria, the next town over from me. I saw Mark Grace, who was a great first baseman. Saw him play in Peoria before they made it big. Greg Maddux, Hall of Famer, Cy Young Award winner multiple times. Unfortunately, he left the Cubs for the Braves, where he had all that success. But yeah, so that's kind of why I'm a Cubs fan. And growing up with my dad, who's a Cardinals fan. So how does that work? That you've got a Cubs fan and a Cards fan, but WGN had just, cable TV. That was new. That was new for my generation. And WGN carried the Cubs games, so I got to watch a lot of that. And Ryan Sandberg was just my favorite player ever, probably still is. And when I was on the 8th grade basketball team, I chose number 23 because that was Ryan Sandberg's number. Not because it was Michael Jordan's. Sorry, Cog Hill Farm and Homestead. 23 belongs to Ryan Sandberg in Chicago, as far as I'm concerned. I lived in Evanston, Illinois. I'll get to all that later. But I've been to a whole bunch of baseball games. And back before I was poor, I did some traveling, and so the Dodgers and the Yankees hat you saw is because I went to games at those stadiums. So I bought a souvenir hat to remember that I had gone to those stadiums. It's on my bucket list to watch a game in every stadium, although it's all the way down on my bucket list now. Hatching my own chickens, that's much, much higher up on my bucket list at this point. So I'm not that much into sports, except for the Cubs. And they just won the World Series, and that was like the happiest day of ever. So that's my random fact number 8. Take care, see you tomorrow, and always use a wind filter.